Hi, good morning. Welcome back to Morning at NTV. My name is Malaki Vilodera. So today we are talking about fraud. What better time to talk about fraud than now, especially now in the festivities. We are in the festive mood, but tricksters and fraudsters are also on the alert. So how can you go about protecting yourself? And so in studios to talk about that and just to give us tips on how we can go about safeguarding our pockets, our bank accounts, and everything that has to do with our safety in that space is Mr. Fabian Cassie. He is the Managing Director of Centenary Bank. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Good morning, and you're welcome.
Thank you.
So let's start with defining fraud. We all think we know fraud, but it's more intense than we think. So what exactly is fraud?
Well, fraud is, you can say can be a misrepresentation of facts, either by way of words or action, with a view to advantage somebody selfishly, you know, hiding facts and misrepresenting things. And of course, in banking, it is a big risk because at the end of the day, you know, as banks, we trade in trust.
Right.
We need to ensure that our customers trust us when they keep their money with us, when they borrow money from us. And so we dread fraud, and we always look out for it by way of sensitizing and training people, you know, on how to detect, prevent fraud.
Okay. And how bad is the situation here in the country when you talk about fraud? Because, you know, Centenary Bank has embarked on a campaign, the anti-fraud campaign, just to sensitize not just your clients, but the public at large. So how bad is the concept and the conversation of fraud in the country that actually made Centenary Bank focus on that as a campaign?
Well, fraud globally is an issue. And actually, during the month of November, there were global efforts of trying to sensitize the public about frauds with a view to ensuring that they can detect and prevent frauds. And because of that, you know, global big campaign, and as Centenary Bank, who are very interested in ensuring that our customers, our clients, our communities are not affected by frauds, we had to join in along with the other various partners like ABI Trust. And the aim has been to also add to the voice of everybody in the country, in the world, to ensure that we minimize frauds. We've been doing a lot of things. This is a campaign for us that has been intensified since September to the end of this year. But it is an ongoing exercise of always ensuring that our customers, our staff are aware about frauds and they are able to detect and prevent.
Okay. All right. And we need to learn today. We need to get into that space and just get this practical, you know, kind of skills and tips on how to safeguard ourselves. Let's assume Andrew Chamagero was on ground with Omuntu Wawansi, and we were saying that this is the crowd that really needs to be brought on board in the banking sector, have a saving culture and stuff like that. And this is the group of people that not necessarily goes to banks, but to other financial institutions. So let's start at that point. I'm Omuntu Wawansi, or I'm just any other person, and I want to get to a saving culture. I want to save with X financial institution in terms of due diligence, because, you know, there are also fraudsters in institutions that are not genuine but fake. So how do I go about checking the authenticity of this particular institution before I even start engaging with them?
Of course, first of all banking institutions are supervised and regulated by Bank of Uganda, the central bank.
Right.
That means that by the time somebody opens his doors to the public to start keeping their money, they ought to have a license. And usually it is a requirement that that license is conspicuously displayed in the banking halls, wherever the clients can reach, so that they are able to authenticate and know that that is a licensed institution. We currently have 24 commercial banks, all of them supervised, licensed by Bank of Uganda. Of course, we have other tiers of financial institutions, like the MDIs and the credit institutions. All those come under the ambit of supervision by Bank of Uganda. So clients, when they begin working with the financial institutions, these are things, first of all, they need to ask themselves. And after that, of course, everything they do with the banks, again, there is authentication. For example, there is a requirement that if you are coming to open an account with a banking institution, there is a key fact document which you ought to look at and read and understand. First of all, it explains to you the nature of the service you are going to get. It explains to you the price that you'll pay by accessing that service, so that at the end of the day you are able to make a decision whether to go out and keep shopping with other institutions, or you accept that service well knowing the cost and the value you will get from that service.
Okay. And because you're not just, we know that the banks are totally safeguarded and there are controls in that space, but there are other financial institutions that have come on board as well. And we know there are tricksters in the market who want to, of course, gain unreasonably from unsuspecting clients. So we have that, and we also have agents.
Yes.
Banking agents.
That's right.
So how do we go about making sure that these people, by the way, are authentic and I can trust them with my hard-earned money?
Okay. No, it is very important, especially in times like this. You know, it's a festive season. There's a lot of anxiety, movement here and there. Of course, you'll find many people in the banks coming to withdraw money and so on. Some of them, may be fraudsters trying to, see how they can get money from clients or whoever is in the bank. It is incumbent upon our clients, first of all, to ensure that if you are in our banking hall, you deal with the person who has, an identification that indicates that is an employee of the bank, first of all. If you are using other channels of distribution like the mobile platform, you need to safeguard your PIN. You need to log in and ensure that you've logged out if you are using an application like the Center Mobile for Centenary Bank. If you are at the ATM, safeguard your card. We have now just issued Visa-enabled cards. You can do a lot with those cards, but you must safeguard that card. Even if somebody comes and pretends to be assisting you, first confirm that is somebody who is designated to be in that compartment of the ATM,
right,
and is supposed to help you. Otherwise, don't just trust your card with anybody who would come in disguised as somebody that is meant to help you. So you need to identify the people that you are dealing with. Agents, you mentioned about agents. Agents is another good channel that has just been opened. Currently, Centenary Bank, we have close to 2,000 agents that are expected to help our clients to access services without necessarily coming to us, to our banking halls.
Right.
They need to know that all these agents have been again authorized by Bank of Uganda. We always apply before an agent opens their doors to serve our clients. We would need to first take them to Bank of Uganda. They authorize them, and that's when we open. You will see the branding, and in any case, when they are transacting for you, all the transactions have to be online, such that
okay,
connected to our systems, such that any transaction you do, you will get a message on your phone indicating, that it has been effected. If it is a deposit, it has gone directly onto your account. If it is a withdrawal, money has come off your account. In case you are not able to establish that connection, don't transact.
Okay.
And in any case, it is you to originate the transaction, the owner of the account, not the agent.
Right.
It is you to use your phone to originate the transaction using the number of the agent, because those numbers are already captured in our system, and we know those people, we know where they are, and so on. Okay. In case you are in doubt and that connection is not there, just walk away and look for another agent.
Brilliant, brilliant. We didn't know that. So in case you walk into any agent, the transaction has to be, number one, online. Number two, you need to get SMS alerts on your phone.
Absolutely.
So if you don't get any of that, that's a red flag. That's
yes,
a red alert.
And it is you to originate that transaction.
Okay.
It is not the agent to start the transaction.
Brilliant. Let's get to...
And of course, at the end of the day, again, you get a receipt.
You get a receipt?
Yes. Every agent will give you a receipt indicating the kind of transaction that you've carried out with him or her.
All right. At least now we know, we have all the information on how we can engage with these agents. Let's get to the online space. And now we are embracing technology. We all have gadgets. We want, you know, efficiency, convenience is the order of the day. When it comes to the online space, just teach us today, how can we go about safeguarding ourselves? How can we go about safeguarding our accounts against fraudsters?
First of all, of course, you've mentioned we are in the mobile, you know, digital space, and we carry so many gadgets. If people will carry 2 phones, an iPad, you know, on your PC or laptop, you are either using internet banking or applications like the Center Mobile application that we have. What is key is to ensure, first of all, because all these things that you do on those gadgets are usually managed through a personal identification number. So the most important thing, first and foremost, is to safeguard your PIN. Never share those numbers with anybody, whether friends or because they could be. We've seen some people, you know, giving their ATM card to somebody along with the PIN to go and draw money on their behalf from our ATM machines. And we are telling them that is wrong. You need, because this is a personal identification number.
Right.
So safeguarding it is very important. Using the mobile application, for example, you need to log in. Again, using numbers, PINs. Every time you log in, transact, ensure that you log out.
Ensure that you log out.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter if it's your phone or your iPad.
You must log out.
Okay.
You must log out. Of course, we've had sometimes people move with phones which are connected by Bluetooth. Hackers can easily get into your phones. You need to ensure that you've managed that connectivity, you know, things like the Bluetooth connectivity, which can be captured by anybody around you, to ensure that it is off, especially if you are in an area where you are not, you know, sure of the safety or security. So it is a conscious thing for all of us to know that we should protect, safeguard our gadgets, safeguard our PINs, and use these platforms very, very securely. They are very good, they are convenient, you can transact wherever you are, in the comfort of, you know, wherever you may be.
Right.
But they can also be dangerous. And that one you need to take account of it.
Before we move away from the conversation on online transactions, is it advisable to log into your online account using public Wi-Fi?
Again, that's what I talked about. Public Wi-Fi is public, meaning many people can use it, and especially if you have the Bluetooth on, they can get into your system. It probably wouldn't be wise. To use the public Wi-Fi to do, you know, confidential things like checking your balances or getting onto your account in a bank. It would always be safer to use your secure connectivity or connections to be able to do such confidential transactions.
Okay, all right. Let's get to the aspect of detecting fraud. What are these telltale signs that I can look out for just to know if there's someone trying to hack into my accounts, either through whatever gadgets? How can I detect fraud so that I report this as soon as possible before it's too late? How do we go about detecting this?
Of course, fraud comes in different forms, in various forms. Either, as I said, either, you know, having somebody to come and con you or defraud you, or somebody hacking into your system and so on. And there will always be signs. But for example, if you are dealing with somebody who is like trying to help you at our ATMs, whom you haven't authenticated as being the designated person to help out with our clients, be very careful. If you are in our banking hall and somebody is again trying to help you and is not somebody with an ID properly identified, again, be very careful. Usually if somebody connected into your system, you may get some messages which you may not understand. Or sometimes it may tell you to give information which you are not sure of. Don't give that information until you've verified that it's coming from a secure source.
How do you identify that it's coming from a secure source? Because you know that when you're logging in, there are pop-ups that come in and they ask for your name, for your address, for all these other personal details. So how do you ensure that you are not actually giving off to the wrong people?
It is not easy, but I guess the rule of thumb is that don't respond to those things. unless indeed you've authenticated the source of the request for that information. In any case, if we are picking your information as a financial institution, there are various ways in which we pick it. We don't pick it online. We will tell you to come and sign documents, giving us whatever information you want to give us. We authenticate that information, physically through people that are designated to collect that information, rather than just, giving you requests online and you keep giving information to people whom you may not know.
Right.
So the rule of the thumb is don't.
Okay, let's get to that aspect where now we know that fraud is a big conversation and we know it's robbing the economy huge sums of money. So how do we go about ensuring that we are not in that space? And if at all you detect that there's fraud happening in whatever gadgets, in whatever space. For example, now, if I'm a client of Centenary Bank, I have this red alerts. Is it possible for me to recover from that? If it's too late, I've already lost my money.
Yeah.
Can we recover that?
Well, you will recover from the trauma of fraud. Definitely, you have to try to recover, though painfully, but we have to recover. Of course, in some cases, as you said, some institutions have lost money, or some people have lost money, which may be too big, for somebody to quickly recover.
Right.
But it is important that, first of all, you acknowledge there was a fraud, and you also acknowledge that you've put in place systems that will prevent occurrence of such frauds on your account. Of course, as you said, it can be a big loss to institutions. If even a loss when you lose staff. For example, if we find a staff who is involved in a fraud, however talented or however good he or she may be, our policy is in such a way that they have to leave, they have to go. And if it touches on criminality, again we have to involve police to be able to investigate those things. So we have zero tolerance to fraud as a bank, and we always try to sensitize our clients and our staff to know that, first of all, don't get anywhere close to fraud. And if you do detect occurrence of a fraud, please ensure that you report immediately. We have various lines, toll-free lines that you can quickly call, or you can go through our branch managers. In every banking hall, there is a notice of escalation of, if you want to get helped, where you start. If you are not helped, where you go, all the way to our head office in the CEO's office. So we want that to be coming through that information, so that at the end of the day we are able to, detect and prevent frauds.
But if my money has, been stolen through fraud, maybe I was a banker, I was a client at Centenary Bank, will Centenary Bank take that blame and refund my money, the lost money, or that's gone money, gone completely?
It depends. It is usually, on a case by case, because we do investigate. When frauds are reported, we do investigate them. If we realize that it was a responsibility of the bank or a bank agent, because agents work on behalf of the banks,
right, then
the bank will take responsibility. But if it was as a result of negligence, for example, you giving away your PIN, sharing information on your account, all we can do is to help you to ensure that we prevent occurrence of such a thing on your account, because it is not our responsibility. The most important thing is to sensitize clients, because we don't want to reach there. We don't want to go there. That's why we want to ensure that everybody is aware, everybody has put in place systems, controls, right, that will ensure that your accounts are not played with. No frauds take place on your accounts with your money. And
we need to get an assurance today. Of course, there's been a lot of conversation, different videos making rounds on social media on how safe ATMs actually are. So many people say that at times fraudsters actually get, link up with the security guards who are meant to stand at the ATM spots. Some of them actually put in gadgets, sophisticated gadgets, to you know, attract the PIN numbers. Some even put cameras to be able to see what's happening. Some, you know, like it's totally techy and advanced. So when it comes to the safe spaces, the ATM space, how safe are they? And when we walk to an ATM to maybe withdraw money, how should we be conducting ourselves just to ensure that we are safe and our accounts are safe?
First of all, I want to assure our customers that the ATMs as a channel of service for the bank is safe. It is safe like any other channels in the banking halls, using your mobile phone on the Center Mobile. They are safe in the sense that as a bank, we've gone a long way to invest in security systems. For example, I'll tell you that on the ATMs, we have anti-skimming gadgets, so that nobody can bring things to scheme and take your information of the cards to be able to go and pick your money. We've invested in various IT systems, security systems, and every year we do invest, because as we know, every time people keep developing new systems, new ways of hacking into systems and so on.
Right.
And as us, as an institution, we keep spending to ensure that we are always upgrading our security systems. So I want to assure our customers, ATMs are safe. The most important thing is to ensure that you are also conscious about the safety of the information on your account. The things I talked about of safeguarding your PIN,
right,
personal identification numbers, safeguarding your card, ensuring that you are talking to people whom you are sure have been designated as people to be there to help you, not talking or sharing information with anybody. It is very important. It is, you know, it should be a collective effort. As the banks try to put in place security systems, we want our customers also to be conscious and aware of the various ways of making sure that their accounts, the information on their accounts, their money is safe.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And now we've already exhausted how we as individuals can actually go about safeguarding ourselves. But institutions also stand to lose, and we've seen many companies lose a lot in the name of fraud. So how can institutions go about safeguarding themselves against fraud?
Well, as institutions, I think we need to deliberately take it as a responsibility to ensure that we prevent frauds. I'll tell you that at Centenary Bank we have zero tolerance policy to fraud, and it is there conspicuously displayed, sensitized to everybody. But again, the most important thing, it is one thing to have a policy, but it is total another to ensure that we conform to that policy.
Right.
And what we do to ensure that we are always taking into account what is enshrined in that policy is to continuously train and sensitize our staff, first and foremost, to know the things they need to be doing. And also to continuously sensitize our clients. They shouldn't be giving bribes to our staff. They shouldn't be tolerating anybody asking for money for service, because that is where the beginning of frauds, you know, comes in. So if we all work together, if we have our staff that should know what to do, if we have our clients, and if we have the entire communities where we operate very conscious about frauds, then we should be seeing frauds getting minimized as much as possible.
Are those the same measures that non-financial institutions can also take up to protect themselves?
Exactly. I mean, awareness is very critical, because as I said, frauds take place in various forms.
Right.
Either bribes, either misrepresentation of facts, so that somebody can take advantage of whatever is happening. So, and those things don't concern only financial institutions. They concern institutions, they concern people, they concern, you know, everybody in
Correct.
the entire space of life.
Okay, all right. As we come to a close, we know that the campaign is coming to an end, the official campaign. What should we be putting into perspectives as the viewers? I want you to talk to us today. That's your camera one. Speak to the viewers as we come to a close.
First of all, our viewers, as Centenary Bank, we want to thank you for, you know, coming and partnering with us and doing business over the last 27 or so years. We've been able to do what we are doing because of your patronage. We thank you very much. But at the same time, we want to tell you that as a bank, we sell trust to you. And selling trust to you means that you should trust us. And we've invested quite heavily in systems that ensure that your information, your money, your everything that you entrusted us with is safe. But again, as we do that, we want to urge you to also be conscious be aware of how to detect and prevent frauds, because at the end of the day, this is a collective effort,
Right.
something that we need to do together to ensure that we get rid of or minimize frauds
Right.
in banking.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Fabian Kasi, Managing Director of Centenary Bank, for coming in studios. That is very critical information, especially as we are in the festive season. We will be transacting a lot, doing a lot of purchases, doing a lot of business, so we need to be safe. So that has been it for Solutions segment. Morning Attentive still continues. Up next is Take Note with Flavia Tumusine Dongo Tufa. Stay here.